Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe in Lagos.
What a greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching us. In London, I'm Austin Okonakman. Cecilia, thank God it's Friday, but that means we're getting into another weekend of sporting action because it's always an action-packed world of sports.
It's the loaded package tonight. And of course, it's a Friday night and it's 7 days to the commencement of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. You are counting down to, of course, today we'll be focusing on Team Nigeria as usual, their preparations for the game, and also the sports minister, what he's saying to the media concerning the preparations and also what they expect the athletes to achieve. And the refugee teams that we mentioned yesterday, they arrived in France today. A Brazilian team have also arrived in France. The German teams also there, right there in France. Team Nigeria still in Germany, preparing for the Olympics. And just this evening, the D Tigers took on the women's basketball team of Germany, and they lost that game. But they still have 2 more games to go before they will be going to France for the Olympic Games. Also, we'll talk about the U.S. men basketball team. Remember the last time you have a full complement of the big names was actually in London 2012. They're trying to have that again in Paris Olympics. That's why you have the likes of LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, all those players will be in Paris for the Olympic Games. Also, right now they are training in London. We'll also talk about the Super Falcons. They've arrived in Bordeaux for the Olympic Games, and also talk about, well, Mason Greenwood. He has arrived in Marseille. He has been unveiled in Marseille today. And you know, the talks about what happened before, but he doesn't want to talk about that. He just wants to focus on his club career. There's so much to talk about tonight. And if we can have one of the Olympians who will be joining us on the program, Edem Offiong, will also be talking to her concerning her preparations for the Olympic Games. Yes, it's a Friday, and Okpeyemi Akiode is in the studio joining us on the program. Okpeyemi, it's good to have you.
It's a beautiful evening. It's Friday, and we're counting down to the 2024 Olympics in Paris. 7 days to the greatest sporting event in the history of mankind. And of course, we've got Team Nigeria, about 83 or so athletes who will be representing Nigeria in various sports, boxing, track and field. Of course, the Super Falcons returning after missing 4 editions of the Olympics. There's also the Tigers. And so, the Tigers are very good part.
The Tigers didn't qualify,
I'm really looking forward to the Olympics. And of course, the transfer window is really cooking up. You talked about Mason Greenwood. I think it's going to be a whole lot of responsibility for him trying to get into the hearts of the ultras in Marseille. The Olympic Marseille fans are set of the most volatile and difficult to please fans in the world. So, I mean, he's going in there. Big money move, by the way. And I think Manchester United have done a smart business by including a sell-on clause in that deal. They probably don't want to play anymore, but they still want to make a lot of money on the player. So there's so much to look out for today. Unfortunately for the Tigers, they lost this evening in one of, I think they've got 2 more games.
2 more games.
And friendly matches before they resume their actions at the Olympics.
All right, Austin, we're going to start off with, of course, what's currently happening in Paris. At the opening ceremony, a lot has been said about the opening ceremony and what it's going to be looking like. Artistic display will just be there. And it's going to be like, for the first time, you're having an opening ceremony that is not at the stadium, but rather is outside. Thousands of people. How many? 300,000? That's a whole lot.
That's what it is, Paris is trying to, set new records, do beyond what we call normal, and that's what it means to, hit those milestones and set records that have not been done before. So it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. And then, look, the organizers are more than confident that it will be a dream opening ceremony. Look, people say, see Paris and die. I think that's what they want to give to people. Something extraordinary, something breathtaking. And right from the opening ceremony, you know that this will be a festival of surprises, a festival of record-breaking performances. And Paris is such a beautiful, calm city, you know, and what they're just trying to say to us is when you come here, you need to just relax and feel the power of sports. They want to build and create the atmosphere that will make that happen. And you know, with all of these images that we're seeing, you start dreaming, you know. So for them, they've got a dream plan. And on that opening ceremony, they just want to bring that plan into reality, because Paris is already lighting up right now and everybody is pumped up waiting for it. They've shown us their infrastructure, they've shown us their coastal guards, security on the water, they've shown us everything, and they're saying, let the games begin. Let's listen to the president of the Paris 2024 committee. He's saying, look, the dream plan will be a reality. We'll be right back.
We have an opening ceremony into the center of Paris with hundreds of thousands of people attending, for some of them for free, and it's a great way to welcome the athletes of the world with so many people, and also Parisians be part of this unique moment for our country. So for us that was a great answer also to engage locally and widely. We want to open wide the games, and we believe that doing it in the center of Paris with hundreds of thousands of people, and also it's again a great combination of with the creativity of the artistic team to celebrate people of Paris in this regard. So you will see that at the end it's about people. It's about artistic, it's about sports. We have in mind that with this kind of ambition and audacity, we will have to adapt also to different parameters, and that's planned. So now we follow, I think, 10 times a day the forecast to see at what time we need to readapt a little bit the whole ceremony, but definitely we are very confident now to be able to deliver the dream plan that Thomas has imagined.
Dream plan, obviously. I mean, Austin talked about the dream plan. We saw pictures. We saw pictures of you know, what's currently the pictures of it. You know, when Austin was talking about what they intend to achieve with this. I mean, the floating boat parade. I mean, that's going to be interesting. And with the fans actually staying at the riverbank, about 300,000. That's the expectation. Now, this is the dream plan. This is what they want to. This is what they're anticipating. These are pictures of what you're going to see at the opening ceremony. Just more like a graphic representation ahead of that opening ceremony. I think this will definitely be spectacular.
Yeah, there's been a lot of fear. There's been a lot of pessimism in respect to the preparation of Paris, especially with some security challenges here and there. You remember the protests that happened towards the end of the year, into the early side of this year as well. So there's been a lot of fear in respect to the preparedness. Are they ready to go? And whether we like it or not, you would want to give a lasting impression, especially when it comes to Olympics. It's not the World Cup that's just football. We're talking about over 60 sports, over, you know, 4,000 to 5,000 athletes all around the world coming together to
20, what is it? 20, more than 20,000 athletes.
Exactly. So the numbers are huge. I mean, I saw the arrival of the Ukrainian team earlier today, and then, you know, they showed expectations. You also talked about the refugee athletes. It's a new dimension into the Olympics, started off about 2 Olympics ago. So I think it's just Paris wanting to tell the world that we are ready to welcome you. We've seen a lot with the Monaco Grand Prix. It's always a show of splendor. We've also seen, you know, a couple of other magnificent events. But this is the Olympics. We're talking about so many sports. We're talking about individuals coming from every part of the world, journalists, athletes, you know, fun lovers, sports enthusiasts, media, everybody, even marketers, sponsors, everybody just wanting to give a world a spectacle, giving the world a showpiece. So you know that even if you don't win any medal at the Olympics, you could tell the world that I was in Paris 2024, and it's not just giving the regular Olympic vibes. Imagine having the opening ceremony outdoor. I mean, the chief, you know, just talked about the fact that they're having about 8 different, you know, check doors to know that when they need to readjust, when they need to adapt, the coastal guards, everything is set for the Olympics. I mean, we're here, and we're feeling this nostalgic energy around what it will be like. So imagine the people in Paris, imagine the athletes themselves, imagine now winning a medal for your country. See, it's a dream. And the dream is not just for the organizers. Even the athletes are also living the dream.
Yeah, I mean, those athletes are retired before the Paris Games, just be sitting and watching until this is what they actually miss. Well, talking about athletes, it's almost arriving in the country. Yesterday we talked about the Australian team, Team Australia, Team South Africa, Team USA, but today the Brazilian team, the German team, and of course, you also have the Indian athletes arriving right there in Paris, checking into the Olympic Games village. And as we mentioned, 20,000 athletes are expected to be in that Games village. A whole lot of the Brazilian, the Indians, the German teams are already in France, in Paris, ready to go at the Olympics.
That's what I'm saying. Let the games begin, because, I mean, the major actors are already touching down right there in Paris. And, you know, as I said yesterday on the show, for these athletes, sometimes it even goes beyond winning. Just participating is a win, you know, because they just want to be called Olympians. Some of them are looking to even break their own records. Some are hoping to create new records. Some are just hoping to be on the podium. There's just so much at stake. We've also mentioned the rest of the team, and by the time we talk about them, persons will understand that the Olympic movement is all about unity. It's all about bringing hope to the world. It's about bringing the world together and making us believe once again in humanity. You know, so I love it so much. These countries are already touching down the refugee team.
Yes.
They also touch down coaches, officials, and it's such a beautiful team made up of 37 athletes from different backgrounds, living in 15 different countries, competing 12 sports. You know, and you know the concept of the refugee athletes and participating in the Olympics is just so wide. It's difficult to comprehend. It just tells you that if we come together, together we can make this world a better place, you know. And for them to be competing together despite coming from regions where they fought war, there's hunger, there's poverty, there's so much, you know, stopping them. But this is sports telling them that, look, you can live life again. You can be a champion in your own right. You know, so I love it so much. Let's listen to some of the athletes that touched down in Paris. And for me, this is the most important part of the Olympics. It's about getting on the podium and, you know, singing your national anthem when you win gold or silver. It's about these guys and the spirit of inclusivity and bringing hope and succor to our world.
It's really good and it's really important to have this training camp before our race in Paris. Like now we get time to know each other. Like we live in different host country, and here like we met and we are like from different background. We practice different sport, but it was really important. And I hope we inspire the other refugees and we will do our best to make proud this team.
I'm so grateful and thankful about this program that they had to support the athlete. I use it for my training camps and my races that I had in Sweden and outside of Sweden. And it was a big support to know that there are places to sleep and training.
To prepare to go and run game. To improve time, also to win, to get number 2 and 3 and 4.
I love it so much. Beautiful world of sport. You see these persons, they are from different parts of the world, in fact 15 different countries, but under the refugee concept, they will be competing as one team, promoting unity. And it's such a beautiful story because some of them are even elite athletes, and on their own, they wouldn't have ever competed at the Olympics. But look at them now, the power of sports.
Well, I mean, you can't underestimate the power of unity. And when you have a sport that brings the very best from around the world together and allow them to, you know, meet each other. You heard one of the refugee athletes talking about the fact that you meet each other, people that you somehow even look up to.
Yeah.
See, the Olympics is about setting and breaking. Records will be broken. People will come and break their own records. More records will be set. There will be Olympic time, world record, a whole lot of things coming together. And for journalists like us, it goes beyond what happens on the track. It goes beyond what happened in the pool. It goes beyond what happened at the arena. It goes beyond what happened at the hatchery yard. It is what the people are doing outside of the sport.
The inside
networking, meeting each other, you know, telling the world that I don't care about the color of your skin. I don't care about your language. I don't care about your tribe. I don't care about your story. I'm interested in what you have right now, which is fraternity. People coming together to say, hey, it's a sport. One had to win, someone had to lose, in quotes. But at the end of the day, just like Austin said, being addressed as an Olympian is on its own, it's satisfying. So when you now have the privilege to win something for your country, it's even more dignifying. But when you now have the singular honor of setting a record, you know that until the next 4 years, your record is safe. Until the next 4 years, your name will still be mentioned as the world record in this so category. I'm really looking forward to it. I can imagine how exciting those athletes are feeling right now. But for me, for us here, we can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the moment from a distance, actually.
And of course, those that will be benefiting financially, especially with IBA setting the tone of $50,000 if you win a gold medal in boxing.
That's huge.
That's huge. That's a lot. All right. Let's come home to Nigeria. Of course, the sports minister met with the media in Abuja yesterday. And what's the main story? It's the fact that he wants to surpass what the athletes did, Nigeria did in 1996 Olympics, regarded as the most successful time when Nigeria went to the Olympics. And not just that, of course, what the athletes we expect, you know, the fact that they're training in Germany and the fact that he is hoping that these particular Olympics, going forward after this, he understands that they have to prepare for 4 years to get to the next one. Let's just listen to him. We'll come back, of course, we'll dissect what he has said concerning the athletes in Germany.
We have a budget that is 12-point-something billion. That's the budget that we have. And that is divided into 2. For the Olympics, it's about 9. And for the Paralympics, it's about, I think, 3-point-something billion. And there are various provisions, you know, for the athletes and for their welfare. By the time, before the team leaves for Paris, I'm going to have the opportunity of visiting that team. And just like I did in Accra, Ghana for the African Games, I'm going to be able to let them know from 1 to Z all what their entitlements are. Aspiration is to surpass, records that were earlier set. Not about the Olympics of last 4 years, but we're taking it from the Olympics of 1996, which remains our best ever performance. And I'm looking at it, and we are working at it, both in terms of the arrangements, the preparations, in terms of the work of my, performance team, that as we speak has been in Germany. You need 4 years of preparation and training that talks about the thousands of hours that you need to devote and commit. All of that. My hope is that for the first time we can actually walk the talk. Is that we can begin to do something. In the engagements that I had with the House Committee on Sports before yesterday, when we're talking about the session that they were organizing, one of the things I proposed was that, look, even though this session is coming so close to the Olympics, but I don't think that the benefits of what you guys are trying to do should be limited to these Olympics. And that this may even be the beginning point of setting up what? An Olympics fund that in itself will have a lifespan beyond this particular Olympics.
Yeah, beyond the Olympics. Austin, you listen to, we need to go on a break. When we come back, of course, Austin will talk about this, especially on preparing for the Olympics, the one in Los Angeles, 2028. Austin, you listen to the sports minister talking about their budget. I know you have a lot to say about that. 12 billion for the whole Olympia. About 90, 90,000, 90 athletes. Then you have 90 for the Olympics, and then you have about 30 for the Paralympians, and in all, 12 billion naira. That's the budget for them. 9 for the Olympians, of course. 3 for the Paralympians. That's like a drop.
My guys are saying, why are you giving us 3 billion? You know, I support those guys.
Because you have 30. You have 30, 90. So you have to look at the numbers, right?
I know, I agree, but we've said it, that what you do for an able-bodied person, you do twice for someone that is physically challenged. You know, so I understand that the number game is being applied here.
Yeah.
But we need to find a way to start managing it properly, because we always preach inclusion. And look, those guys are special. Shout out to the ministry, not the ministry this time around, the federal government of Nigeria, for being prompt with releasing money for the Olympics and ensuring that the ministry does a quick handover. I mean, not as fast as it is in this part of the world where I am, but it is better than what we used to have. So shout out to the presidency. They've been involved, and that's a very good one, because for us to make progress with sports in Nigeria, I say it all the time, that I need to have that executive order.
Yeah.
It must come from the office of the president. That's the will that we need to show. And I like what they've done. The other day they were at the House of Representatives, and the House of Representatives drummed more support, that more Nigerians should come support this team. But I want to advise the ministry, and the minister in particular, this talk about we will surpass Atlanta 96 is becoming a distraction. They should stop it and just go to the Olympics. Because if we are to go back in time and put where we were with sports in 1996 and where we are now, you can see that the difference is clear. Stop that comparison and just go to the World Cup. And with the little preparation that you've done, and with the spirited athletes that we have now, let's just believe that something can happen, Because if we want to start talking about the quality of athletes that we have back in the day, we want to talk about the attention we were giving to school sports back in the day, to grassroots sports development, I can't say it now. So it's difficult for it to just pop up and just believe solely on the guys that are abroad and they're running things. In fact, the 2 gold medals we won, Chioma Ajinora and the Dream Team that had stars, just focus on those 2 gold medals, and you can tell that we've got a lot of work to do. So that's just what I picked up from the minister's talk. Stop the comparison. The Olympics is here now, just about 6 more days to go. The guys are in Germany preparing. That's pictures right there. We listened to Anu yesterday. We listened to some of the guys also that are competing in wedding. We also listened to Ese Brume. They like the level of preparation that they are having. Let's keep that focus and go to the Olympics and see what we can do.
It's all about the focus. What are your takeaways from the sports minister's speech concerning the Olympics?
I totally understand what the minister was trying to say. Trying to, just push up that level of, support, especially trying to tell the athletes that we're not going to have the era of, some athletes coming on social media to say, well, I just watched my kids, I got 2 left legs of kids or sneakers to walk with. I understand. However, I have a little reservation about how, maybe the physically challenged athletes and the able-bodied athletes in quotes, you may want to look at the game of the numbers, but let's look at the cabinets.
Yeah.
We're making reference to 28 years ago as our charge point. But what happened to the Paralympians? They always go to the Olympics and they always give us glory. In weightlifting, in boxing, in shot put, in javelin, would always have a huge shout at the medals. And the Olympics does not care whether it is physical. The gold medal is the same thing whether you're physically challenged or you're an able-bodied Olympian. So I'm trying to understand the whole difference of 9 billion to 3 billion. I understand the conversation of the numbers, but if you've been to the national stadium in Surulere and you see the deplorable condition of which those Paralympians are training, some of them have wheelchairs that are just welded together. Some of them have wheelchairs that don't even have tires on them. Some of them do their weightlifting on ordinary, wood. And it's tough. So when you have the platform, when they are prepared, they've met the qualification time, you should treat them equally with the people. More so, they even bring you medals. They bring you gold medals. They bring you silver medals. They bring you bronze medals. So I understand what the sport minister is trying to do, but hey, I think it's high time we come back to the table and we told ourselves the simple truth. The same attention I'm going to give to you as a Brume is the same attention I'm going to give to Blessing Wanchuku that does weightlifting as a Paralympian. It's the same. In fact, it's even more difficult for them. Some of them need aids to move around. Some of them need supports to move around. So why should you treat them lesser than the other people? I'm really particular about what they do. There was a time I saw the physically challenged national football team. They were going to one embassy in Abuja, and then they had an accident in a cramped bus. And I'm like, when do we need to start treating these people as special people? Not just special because of their physicality, but special because of the kind of mental torture they have to go through to achieve some of the things people like us easily achieve. So the sport ministry needs to wake up to that responsibility and understand that I really don't care what you do as a numbered person, but I'm talking about what is on the shelf. How many gold medals have you had from the Paralympians in the last 28 years? They were waiting for Chairman Jowa to motivate the physically, the able-bodied athletes. We need to be serious with these things. If we know that these ones are bringing us medals, focus on them and give them support. It's simple.
Simple as that. I hope more attention will be given to them. But then what's happening right now? The fact that they're being remembered, so to speak, because some of them were actually with the minister at the Green Chamber of the House of Representatives when he went to see them, and they talked about the support. And hopefully, as they also prepare for the Paralympic Games, they will be camped in a special place like the Olympians, what the Olympians got. And also the preparations for the next Olympics should start immediately after Paris 2024. Let's leave that and talk about the Super Falcons. Yes, they've arrived in Bordeaux and preparing. But if you know the Super Falcons, we're going to look at their group phase and the teams they will be facing, especially knowing that the world champions are Spain, they are in that group. And for Spain, they are making their first appearance at the Olympics. Yes, Nigeria and Brazil. That's going to be the first game, July 25th. For the Brazilians, they've been runner-up twice. They've won silver twice, 2004 and 2008. And of course, for them, they're making their sixth appearance at the Olympics. Nigeria, after last time, it's been 16 years, and they finally make it this time around. And the next match will be against Spain, the world champions who are making their first appearance at the Olympics. The first time, we heard about Spain going to the World Cup was 2015. That's when they made their first appearance. And what happened in 2023? They won the World Cup. So you have to, and they're world number one, of course, and Brazil is ranked number 9 in the world. And for Japan, current number 7, they've won the World Cup before. And of course, they are more like a regular campaigner when it comes to the Olympics. So they will be up against Nigeria July 31st. This is what it looks like for the Super Falcons. They are in Bordeaux. And of course, the first game will be in Bordeaux against France, July 25th. Talked about the Brazilian team also. They've arrived in Paris for that. The Super Falcons quickly, against Canada, they lost by a lone goal. It was just a test match. And then they also had to do some penalties. That was also a test penalty against Canada. They won that 5-4. Well, for Falcons, how ready do you think they are for this Olympics? The first time in 16 years. They missed out on 3.
I said it when we defeated Bayana to pick up the tickets. And I know that because the draw has been made before we played Bayana. We knew the other 3 teams that were going to be in that group. And I knew it was going to be a tough group. We're talking about Brazil, big football powerhouse. So whether at the Olympics or at the World Cup, You're talking about Spain. You just talked about the rise of the Spanish, football, especially within the female setup, how big they've come in the last 8 years or thereabouts. I won the World Cup last year in Australia and New Zealand. And then we're talking about Japan, one of the biggest, countries from the Asian tigers. They will certainly come in and drill you. You look at how Korea plays, how Japan plays, and they can take you for 200 minutes without getting tired. Yeah. So, I mean, you look at the Super Falcons also, unbeaten in 15 games until they lost that friendly match yesterday against the Olympic champions, by the way. The Canada actually won the last Olympics. So it was a huge test match for them. I mean, we considered in the 18th minute, and I felt we had a lot of opportunities to win that game. I saw the highlights much later. We got a couple of, chances, half chances here and there, but don't forget that our own star girl, Satushola, was not in the starting lineup in that game. So when we play against Brazil, it's a different ball game. It's a competitive setup. And the fact that we're making a return after 16 years puts a lot of pressure on the Super Falcons. Yeah. They know that we don't have the dream team. And football is almost like the biggest thing that brings everybody together on the continent, in the country. Yeah. So the entire world is watching. Yeah. But we've got superstars in our squad. We've got Atletico Madrid Female Player of the Season, former Robo FC Queen. I'm talking about Rashida Tajibade. We've got Isaiah Toshola brimming in all confidence, 2-time Champions League winner. We've got 3 times rather. We've got a lot of quality within the Super Falcons ranks. And although it's a new terrain, none of them have been here before, as against the Brazilian teams, as against the Japanese, as against the Canadians. Some of them have grown through the ranks. Some of them were quite underage when they came to the Olympics. But these girls are making their debut, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on them. But first games in tournament are always key. Yeah. Whatever we're able to get out of the Brazilian game would actually take us into the game against Spain. But whatever it is, 25th is a big deal, and the games are coming in quick succession, by the way. 25th, 28th, and 31st. No time to brood over any loss, no time to relax over any victory. I really hope the Falcons can do us well, and I think they should be able to come out of this group.
Austin, that's a lot of confidence there, because you didn't have any at all, because you were saying, who did we offend having to be drawn against world champions Spain? And the way the Spanish, I mean, when you mention Spain, in terms of tennis, anything you talk about football, they are everywhere. I'm happy that's not the first game we were playing. So we were playing Brazilian first. But if you check Brazil, I mean, they also have no pushover. 2004, 2008, I mean, they won silver. And of course, what happened? Perennial, I mean, 6 times, they're making, 6 times they're making it, wait, appearances, 8. Yes, 8, yes, it's since 1996, 8. I mean, they're always there, and we are facing them. First game.
Cecilia first, let me set the record straight so I don't lose my friends that I have in the Super Falcons and the D Tigress. I didn't lose confidence. I said, why did God give us the sort of opponents that He gave to us in basketball and women's football? But that said, I need a lot of confidence for them to get out of that group. For instance, I watched the D Tigress today. Though they lost, but I think about how many points, but it wasn't a bad display. And with these test matches, you use it to get better. Same thing with the Super Falcons. The test match they played against Canada yesterday wasn't a bad one, And Coach Randy Wardrum has said it. I love the team spirit as in camp. Look, for the World Cup in New Zealand and Australia, yes, I asked a lot of questions because at the time, the NFF didn't really know what they were doing. And there were a lot of back and forth with them and Coach Randy Wardrum. And I thought it was going to affect the team. And the rankings didn't favor Nigeria. But hey, the Super Falcons told all of us to shut up. It's not about the rankings. Can we just get into the pitch and play football? And when they defeated Australia, everyone knew that, yes, this team is a solid one. And right from that World Cup to date, no one has looked back on the Super Falcons. We only said that African football is getting better, and they now need to do the work to win. That said, I don't have any worries about Brazil. Brazil is just a call-up team. They're a team that is just living on their past glory. They're a team that everybody, when people hear them say Brazil, look at their male team. Administration of football in the country is in a complete mess. And that can work in our favor. And the Olympics isn't the World Cup. The Olympics is a different spirit entirely. Nigeria can just get there, and since all of us are calling on the spirit of 1996, what we did in 96 with the men's team can just fall on the women. They beat Brazil. I say this thing, I was analyzing the game with former Super Falcons goalkeeper today, Rachel, and I told Rachel that with women's football, Two things matter. Don't lose your first game and your last game. If you're going to draw them, that's 2 points. You win your last game, that's 5 points. If anything wants to happen in between, it's fine. Nigeria played goalless with Canada, beat Australia, and played another draw Ireland, and it was good enough for them to advance at the World Cup. But imagine if they had won the first and won the last, they probably will meet England.
Yeah.
So if they can start well in Bordeaux by beating Brazil, I completely believe that they have what it takes to beat Brazil, because again, this Brazilian team, all they have going for them is that they are a team made up of Brazilians. That's all. So the Falcons can go out, win that game, and then be in, don't be complacent, but now you know that your next game, even if you play a draw, you have 4 points. The worst that can happen to you in the last game is a draw, and you will still advance.
Interesting. I think maybe Brazil, you beat Brazil. Spain, well, I'm not sure. Okay, Japan, 5 times coming to the Olympics. Runner-up in 2012 in London, they won silver. Let's see, fingers are crossed, and with Randy Wardrum, if he gets his tactics right, as we usually say, and maybe field the right players at the right time, just maybe something will come out and we'll get out of that very, very difficult group. We all agree that's what the group is. Maybe you can even say it's a group of death. Yeah, that's it. All right, talk about the D Tigers that you mentioned earlier. I'll come to you. The D Tigers, yeah, we talked about the game they played earlier today against Germany. It was 63-77, and that's how it all ended. I mean, this is just to keep them in shape ahead of it. They still have, Serbia to play in Belgrade on 21st. They still have Japan to play. That's when they get to Lille in France, on July 24th, before, of course, they will, be ready for the Olympics. I think Coach Rena Wakama, she will have a whole lot to do, to put these girls in shape. And as we mentioned, the powerhouses, as usual, that you're facing when you have Australia in that squad. You have the host nation also with them. So it's a whole lot for the D Tigers to do. That's why this pre-Olympic Games is actually important for them to be ready.
Yeah, it's a team sport, and that's the advantage. Even when a player is probably not giving you the maximum, there are other ones that will just have an outstanding game. And basketball is a game of numbers. It's a game of your chances. It's a game of your free throws. It's a game of your 3 throws. It's a game of your fouls. It's a game of your turnovers. It's a game of your point guard. It's a game of your attack. It depends on how you set up your team. Yeah. I didn't see the full game this evening, but I saw, highlight of it. And you have a feeling that the Tigers can actually get the job done. Yeah. See, it's all about the mindset. Yeah. We saw at some point where the United States male basketball team struggled at the last Olympics. Yeah. Now they're coming with a whole lot of superstars. It's almost like NBA All-Stars. That's what they are coming with. It's quite unfortunate. Thank God the Tigers did not qualify. I don't know if we will have survived that group. But then look at the Tigers. Number 1 in Africa. Yeah. I think we're like number 10th in the world right now, if I'm not mistaken. But see, we actually have to set our heads together. We actually have to set our heads right. I will actually make sure that whatever we get against Serbia, another big, basketball nation as well, we also play France. So France can create that atmosphere of what to expect when we eventually play them. Because we get into these games, put ourselves together, get the right mindset, get the right attitude, understanding the fact that, hey, you are not just carrying the flag of Nigeria. Yeah. You're also flying the flag of the continent as the number 1 basketball playing team in the continent in the female category. So it's not just the Nigerian team that are looking up to you. The entire continent is also looking up to you in terms of the arrays of stars that we have. We've got a beautiful, team coach that understands how to play at the top level. I'm really optimistic about the Tigers. I don't know why I'm quite positive about the team sport for us. I think the Super Falcons will do well. I think the D Tigers would also do well, but how far we can go is a talk for another day. No disrespect to the track and field, the 4x100 meters, 4x400 meters double, but for the team sports, I expect coordination, I expect balance, I expect understanding, and I expect us to put our heads together and know that whatever it is that we're doing, we're not just representing the country, we're also representing the continent.
All right. Not just the country, also the continent. Also, you want to chip in on the D Tigers. Yes, I mean, confirmation of the result is right there on your screen. 63-77, they lost by 14 points.
Yeah, and you know, I was trying to calculate it, and I said it's not really bad. There are positives from it. Yeah, I know some of them 14 points, Austin, really. But you see, I watched it, and there are positives. For instance, they won the first quarter.
Yes.
But it was just 1 point.
Yes.
I think it was 18-17.
Yeah.
But they lost badly in the second quarter.
Yes.
Yeah, they won the third quarter, and then fell badly in the fourth quarter. You see now my analysis of making sure you're first and last.
Yeah.
Very, very important. We've seen teams win a basketball game, they are 20 points down, and they win it in the fourth quarter. So whatever it is that Coach Wakama wants to get out of this as lessons is that they must learn how to be resilient.
Right.
But for instance, if you check the team, I like the fact that Amy Okonkwo did a bit. I think she got about 16 points. I love the way Elizabeth Balogun is developing. She followed with 14 points. It was a whole team performance, but at the end of the day, at the Uber Arena in Berlin, Germany needed to win, and they won.
Yeah, of course, they needed to win with the crowd, the support they also got from that. Quickly talk about Team USA. Let's listen to Steve Kerr and, of course, Kevin Durant and LeBron James. These guys are all they are in London right now, they're training. But then these boys, I mean, Joel Embiid, yes, Jason Tatum. I mean, it's a whole All-Stars, NBA All-Stars. That's very amplified. Let's listen to these players ahead of the games. Steve Kerr first.
What I see so far, defense. So if we can bring in fresh troops, 5 minutes later, and keep doing that and keep defending teams the way we've done at times, then I like our chances to win. It's all defense. We're going to score. We have all these guys who can score. It has to be about defense. So whatever gives us the best chance to defend our opponents, that's what we'll do. We wanted good competition, and we've played obviously some tough teams already, and it's good preparation for us. Way more for the Bulls, because I had to do that, but now I get to just tell Steph Curry and LeBron James that go win the gold medal.
Yeah, definitely. 2012 is a turning point in my career, just being around greats every single day and seeing how they operate, and I just took a lot of that stuff with me. So you see the younger guys here, like Ant, Hallett, and Tyrese, so you see their minds turning a bit, and truly, once you understand that this is a once-in-a-lifetime type of opportunity, so guys are taking advantage of it.
I mean, I know it was a while ago, but a lot of great memories, obviously, in 2012, us coming here for the Olympics, and it was fun to come back and be a part of Team USA once again. Special. Right now we're playing with special attention to ourselves because, quite frankly, a lot of teams have more practice time. They've played a little bit more than we have. So, our main focus, obviously, when we play against those teams, we lock in on them. But, we need to lock in on ourselves to continue to get better and better because this is really only today, probably like our 6th practice together, 7th practice together. So, we can't never waste a day to get better.
Yeah, Austin, I mean, you saw the pictures of some of other players that didn't say anything. I mean, the Golden State Warriors coach, Steve Kerr, is the coach of the U.S. men's basketball team. I mean, just look at these stars. What are they trying to prove? Maybe the World Cup, because Germany won, and of course, losing to Serbia, and they were not there. They felt, you know what, we are the guys. Steph Curry. What are they doing, Joel Embiid?
It's a cheat team, Cecilia. It's just a cheat team. I was hoping that you don't get us to listen to them. I was like, why is Cecilia calling for this team, because I'm just got so much beef for them. They're just so good. That love you have for them will translate into beef, So, but that's what it is. They're just trying to prove to the world that it is what you sow, you reap. They have done so much, but their basketball is arguably the best when you talk about basketball in the world. And then look at the products that have come out of it. And that's why, even when they touch down in London, it also hurts the football fans in the UK. Saying, if we have the best football league in the world, why are we not winning and getting all of the trophies that they are?
All right, that's it. We got to go.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll wait for the Olympics to come and then we'll be entertained with good basketball. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakwan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right. It was nice doing this with you again.
Thank you very much. I mean, you just look at that team, it's a cheat team. But then, I mean, it's a reward system. They have a league that is the best in the world, and then you have to use what you have to get what you want.
Really, John Leby should have, Cameroonian. What are you doing? Okay, we understand that. All right, that's it for the show. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a fantastic weekend.